Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I stand here, Madam Speaker, on a question of personal and collective privilege. Today marks the first anniversary of the Public Act 9994, or the Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010. The monumental act was passed by Congress on January 27, 2010, and signed into law on February 15, 2010. Considered a milestone legislation, it grants a litany of benefits and privileges to the senior citizens of this land. The Senior Citizens Party List wish to thank all those responsible for the enactment and approval of the law. Taos-puso kaming nagpapasalamat sa inyo at mabuhay kayo. Senior citizens now enjoy the 20% discount and exemption from VAT on the sale of certain goods and services listed in the law. Discounts on medical and dental services, professional fees of doctors, transportation fares for land, sea, and domestic air travel, cinema, funeral expenses, a 5% discount on water, electricity, and basic necessities, free medical and dental services, vaccination, diagnostic and laboratory fees, x-rays, CT scans, and blood tests in all government facilities subject to the guidelines issued by the Department of Health. Educational assistance to pursue higher education, continuance of the same benefits and privileges given by GSIS and SSS, provision of express lanes, death benefit assistance, etc. 50% discount on electricity, water, and telephone of senior citizen centers and residential care group homes, and a realty tax holiday for 5 years for private institutions establishing home care, residential communities, retirement villages for senior citizens, and a host of other benefits. Recent events, however, are disturbing. The Secretary of Finance wants the 12% VAT exemption of senior citizens removed on the ground that the government stands to lose 1.2 billion pesos annually. This representation, however, countered that the VAT exemption is provided for in Section 4A of Republic Act 9994. Thus, any change would require an amendment to the law. Is the wisdom of the law now being questioned? On the other hand, exemption from VAT is but a logical and pragmatic way to assist the senior citizens pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution and the law. Our Constitution, in Article 13, Section 11, speaks of integrated health development, availability of affordable social services, and priority for the needs, among others, of the elderly. It further declares that it is the duty of the family to take care of the elderly members, while the state may design programs of social security for them. On another issue, the DSWD wants the monthly social pension to indigent senior citizens limited to those 80 years old and above. By definition of the law, an indigent senior citizen refers to any elderly who is frail, sickly, or with disability and without pension or permanent source of income from relatives to support his basic needs as determined by the DSWD. Under such dire condition, how can such impoverished and helpless elderly live up to 80 years old? May sakit na, mahina, wala pang pera. Aanhin pa ang damo kung patay na ang kabayo, as the saying goes. Madam Speaker, colleagues, the DSWD must comply with the law granting social pensions to all senior citizens 60 years old and above. Limiting the social pension to 80 and above is tantamount to executive legislation. The recent revolting news shown on television about an elderly woman being beaten by her daughter and son-in-law while confined in a cage-like structure should elicit support for the approval of House Bill filed by the Senior Citizens Partylist representatives entitled An Act Defining Violence Against Senior Citizens. Said bill makes it an aggravating circumstance for any offense under the revised penal code committed against senior citizens. At this juncture, we earnestly appeal to the concerned agencies of the government, the DSWD, the DOH, the local government, to fast-track the implementation of the programs mandated by the law, such as, number 1, a senior citizen center in all cities and municipalities, a senior citizen or geriatric ward in every government hospital, a special housing program for senior citizens as provided for in Section 5E of the law, employment, health, and education programs, and number 5, social safety nets for senior citizens. The laudable objectives of RA 9994, as enumerated in Section 1, will be better served with the strict implementation of the law. Respect and care for the elderly is a valued Filipino family tradition. The welfare of 7 million senior citizens must be attended and expanded swiftly by the state. In RA 9994,